welcome to the inaugural first episode of the newly revamped Furry Found Footage. I'm Orlina, and you are in for a treat. This is the show where I dig across time and space for forgotten films, shorts, and series, and reintroduce them to the world through as many lenses as I can fit in the glasses I don't wear. Historical, cultural, furry, and of course, kinks. Yes, cartoons are responsible for many of these things, but if you're watching this, I'm guessing you already know that. I'll start by introducing today's subject with a simple synopsis, and then I'll look at all the spiciest elements, whether they're in my wheelhouse or not. And I'm very excited about this one. It's the first one, so I had to make it big. This is today's forgotten piece of animation history, Sweet Sea. This is an adorable little TV movie from 1985, and it's a production of TMS, or Tokyo Movie Shinsa, a huge, incredibly important animation studio, which you'll probably, definitely hear about again on this show. A lot. Don't worry. It was directed by Osamu Dezaki, who directed, among other things, The Rose of Versailles and Space Adventure Cobra, which are two amazing shows. Hell of a pedigree, if you ask me. It was also written by John Mendelsohn, and he was responsible for about a dozen different animated series, including the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, we don't get many humans down here.
The Teddy Ruxpin series.
Wow!
And the Beverly Hills Teens. All of which are near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to talk about some of those eventually. But let's get on with the fun, shall we? The basic plot follows this mermaid princess, Sweet Sea, and she's princess of the Coral Kingdom. She's got these friends that are little things that were probably designed to be toys, definitely designed to be toys, and Sea Star, who is her seahorse. As a reward for ignoring her responsibilities to play water polo.
My puppy's right, Sweet Sea. Let's play some water polo. Well, I suppose I could, just for a while.
Sweet Sea receives the honor of guarding a magical necklace from her father that, I guess it controls everything in the ocean or protects good things from bad things. Something like that. It's really not clear. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's safest in the hands of this actual baby. Can we take a second to look at her dad? I just can't not see his nipples. Her mom obviously is this Barbie doll looking thing. It's kind of interesting that her dad doesn't have a tail. He's got legs, which means, I guess, that he is from Mount Olympus and therefore not originally from the ocean and therefore does not have a fishtail. I don't know. Sweet Sea's main concern is not really this necklace at all. She has to go on a shopping trip to prepare herself for this water ballet, but she's so nervous about dancing in front of people. Sea Star is cute, but oh my god, I cannot stand his voice.
Royal Gardens? Oh, heck! Oh, what's there to worry about? Oh, wow! The royal necklace!
During her quaint little performance, where she doesn't have to worry about gravity like a real dancer, the 10-legged ne'er-do-well named Squidney steals the magical shell to return it to his mistress, Sheba the sea serpent, who is such a baddie that she is literally a baddie. And this is the part where you're going to realize why this is called Furry Found Footage. She's banging. So her parents keep saying stuff like, she would have made a great princess, and now she won't have a chance, which implies she's gonna die, which is a bit rough for her first responsibility. It's kind of shocking that we get all these scenes where the villain has won, the hero is crying. I kind of think it's interesting if this had become a show, a weekly show. It would have been interesting that they started off the series by showing the stakes of what this magical necklace would do if it was lost. And then the rest of the series is Sheba trying to get it again. And then you know what's going to happen if she does. So when all is thought lost, this little starfish guy comes out of nowhere and helps her find Sheba's lair. And while this gorgeous June foray lizard snake thing is gloating, Sweet Sea finds her way in and immediately gets captured. Look at this shot. Why did they need to make it this good? Oh my god. Anyway, cartoon stuff happens and Sheba gets tied up in tentacle bondage and all is well. Everything gets colorful again and all the little toys start dancing, $4.99 each at your local KB Toys. Now, let's look a little deeper. Amazing animation is one thing, but what really makes me start nodding and tapping my foot is music. If something has good music, it's over for me. And Sweet Sea slaps.
An underwater wonderland, a mermaid princess lives.
This song is amazing. And look at these backgrounds, this animation. I'm guessing this was meant to be a pilot for a series, and frankly, I'm devastated we never got more of it. I would blast this bot from my car window, no shame. Now, about Sheba, the villain, she has this kind of crystal ball that lets her spy on Sweet Sea, which is frankly peak cartoon villain chicanery she's got going on. After making plans to steal the necklace, she goes on to sing this song in a voice I can only assume she stole from a mermaid who wanted legs and is now dead.
I'm Sheba. Underwater, there's no meaning.
Overall, I think this is a great introduction into this world of kind of forgotten cartoon animation, and I think it's always interesting finding these things that are for a Western audience but animated in Japan, because the writers are American but the animators are Japanese. So basically what you have is some guy writes a thing and then somebody has to interpret it in a different language. So you get all these kind of Japanese animation quirks and choices that you wouldn't really see if it was animated in the States. So I think that's a really interesting contrast about this period where a lot of animation was farmed out specifically to Japan. Just to warn you, this is the part of the video where I'm going to talk kink. And I'll be honest, there's not a lot here. It's mostly just a cute little world to get lost in and forget your troubles. The main draw is Sheba, of course. What else is there to inspire little daydreams than this sequence of her stroking her hair, or all these faces she makes? Ah, perfection. It's enough to hypnotize a girl. There aren't many villains who hit the mark this hard. You know what I mean? Like, usually they have a weird mustache, they're blockheads, they're boring regular human dudes with bald spots, but Sheba? She's everything. I'm not biased at all because of the pink hair. It's just how I feel. I also want to mention these cute little stores, because what is kink if not an appreciation for aesthetics? And suddenly Sweet Sea is accosted by these big fat Ed Wynn impressions. I don't know about you, but speaking entirely as someone who is a little too interested in big fanciful displays of delightful sweets, this scene is titillating for the backgrounds alone. Who wouldn't want to gorge themselves in an underwater wonderland?
In an underwater wonderland.
Their words, not mine. And this jolly little candy shop? Hello?
Sorry, there's no more left.
Well, thanks for nothing. I'd also like to highlight the cute designs of all these orchestra fish. They're adorable in every way. Watching this could make an avowed wolf fucker want to make a sea creature persona. May I recommend something other than a shark? The interesting thing to mention here is that all these designs came about 4 years before The Little Mermaid, so if anything, they were copying this. By the way, the rights are owned by Tomy, which lends credence to this whole toy commercial theory. Then again, every animated show in the 80s was made with merchandising in mind. But I guess in the end, there's no way to know if...
Oh, sweet sea,
well...
will you swim up to me?
Introducing Sweet Sea and Sea Star.
All in all, Sweet Sea is definitely cute enough to check out. The music slaps, the animation is incredible. Look at these constantly moving backgrounds, come on. There's just something magical about stuff from this period that, especially for someone like me who grew up in the 90s, I can really appreciate. So I did some additional searching and I found some merchandise for you. I just want you to take a look first at this Sweet Sea pin. That's a face I make every time I sign on to Twitter. Better yet, we have this gorgeous full-size doll, and she's got all her little accessories. She has the different characters. She has Sea Star to ride as an inflatable in the bath. How cool is that? So while I was researching this, I began to wonder why I wasn't seeing too much merchandise for it and why we never got this turned into a series. One-shot TV movies like this are sometimes pilots that are intended for a larger series, and I've got a bombshell. So in my search, I discovered that in 1985, Kenner, the toy company, you'd probably know them from the Star Wars toys, and Tomy, the Japanese toy company, were locked in this court battle over mermaid dolls. Kenner's Sea Wheeze and Tomy's Sweet Sea. So they both have these mermaid dolls, and Kenner is trying to obtain a court order to stop the sale of Tomy's doll, which is Sweet Sea. This is really kind of a classic Toy Wars kind of thing. As children's television got big in the 80s, so did children's toys, because a lot of these shows were just advertisements for toys. Companies want to fight over this stuff. These were millions of dollars back then. I think the most interesting thing about this court case is if you read these little blurbs from the article, I'm kind of siding with Tomy on this one. Let's take a look at whatever these seaweeds are.
It's Breezy with Baby Rory and Whiskers Walrus.
Frosty hair shimmers, Breezy. Here comes Baby Rory.
You can also collect Frosty with Baby Flo and Peggy Penguin.
Can you color hair like this? Sure.
Seawee's Icy Gals. Breezy with Baby Rory and Whiskers Walrus. Frosty with Baby Flo and Peggy Penguin. Each set sold separately. From Kenner.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. Beautiful mermaids, love to play in or out of water, collect them all. They come with a sponge that I'm guessing they float on, which is not really a mermaid thing, especially given that they look like lily pads, and I'm not really aware of any freshwater mermaids. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we have here a catalog image of them from the 1985 Kenner toy catalog. You know, with their little skirts, I really can't even tell they're mermaids at first glance. But I think the most important thing to note here is that these are 4 inches high. 4 inches. Hold that in your head for a second. The Sweet Sea doll is 16 inches. That's the size of an entire baby. So why did Kenner think that these were even similar at all? These are apples and oranges. It's really enough to make a girl upset. Now, I couldn't find any information on how the court case went, but if Sweet Sea was meant to be a series, I'm guessing that this court case put a stop to it. It may have even put a stop to them selling the doll. It's really sad to think that just because of a little corporate greed, we couldn't have more of this wonderful little show about this little mermaid and this evil sea serpent. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this first episode of Furry Found Footage. I have a lot more to show you guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. So this is a new show and a relatively new channel. Most of the stuff I've done before with Furry Found Footage has been at conventions, but I really wanted to make content more accessible to everyone, just to get the word out about all these great shows. So I really appreciate that you watched this video and are helping me grow this little channel, and I hope to bring furry nonsense to the world.